Tonight, a special assignment every car owner needs to see. Our investigative reporter Randy Page broke the Firestone story here on the West Coast, and now he's uncovered another danger you need to know about. Randy?
Harold, according to the Centers for Disease Control, the #1 cause of death for children is motor vehicle accidents. You've already heard that kids need to stay in the back seat due to the danger from airbags. Well, tonight, our special assignment investigation reveals a danger for children riding in the back seat. Riverside County.
It was about 4:15.
Friday.
It was sunny out.
July 14th, 2000.
It was really nice.
Stephanie Collins was on her way to pay her car insurance in her mother's '93 Ford Escort.
My mother was driving and I was passenger seat and my daughter was sitting behind me. We had an ambulance that was coming toward us. We pulled over to the side of the road. Then we were struck from behind.
The impact, estimated at 35 miles an hour, didn't seem too severe.
I grabbed the dashboard, pretty much steadied myself, turned around, see my daughter, make sure she was okay.
But 7-year-old Crystal was not okay. She was fatally wounded when her mother's seatback slammed into her chest, ripping a hole in the little girl's heart. Did you ever have any idea that the seats would have this kind of a problem?
No. I knew that you don't put the kids in the front seat because of the airbags. I knew you put them in the back seat to be the safest place, and it just wasn't.
And this is the very seat that was involved in the accident?
Yes, right. This is the right front seat that Mom was in.
Auto safety expert Ken Sachalski has been studying the issue of seatback strength for more than 20 years. He was retained as an expert witness in Stephanie Collins' lawsuit against Ford. Sachalski says this Ford Escort seat can withstand only a few hundred pounds of pressure before it collapses. As for the other American car makers,
all manufacturers still have a certain large number of vehicles on the road with these older, weaker designs that go back to the mid-1990s or beyond.
Sachalski says this crash test illustrates what happened to Crystal. The driver's seat is about the same strength as the one Crystal's mother was sitting in, and the impact is also about 35 miles an hour. As the seat collapses, the adult becomes a human projectile, capable of inflicting a fatal injury. Watch it again. Notice after the driver's seat slams into the child, it rebounds back toward its original position, all in less than a second. The adult never even knows what happened.
Most of the time, they don't even hardly feel a bump on their head because the kid's head is so pliable, it acts like an airbag for them.
These internal General Motors documents obtained by CBS 2 show GM was aware of the problem back in 1966, concluding survival is largely dependent upon front seat structure, which will maintain the passengers in an upright seated position. In this confidential 1994 report, GM's principal research scientist writes, a common cause for fatal and serious injury in rear-end crashes involves the movement of an occupant toward the rear interior. The report estimates as many as 400 lives could be saved a year with stronger seat backs, and that only involves front seat passengers.
More people, as I say, have been killed with this problem than the Ford Firestone problem, yet the public doesn't know about it.
Yeah. Stephanie Collins' attorney, Brian Chase.
The vast majority of the cars have this problem. If you get rear-ended at a moderate rear impact speed, your seat back is collapsing, and if somebody's back there, especially a child, they're going to get seriously injured or die.
If there's one piece of advice you would want to give people, what would it be?
I would say try to get the safest vehicle that you can, and for now, I would look at the Europeans, Volvo, Mercedes. Those vehicles, they tend to be more safety conscious, and the newer GM vehicles with the belt integrated designs.
Some of the newer GM models, like this Chevy Tahoe, actually integrate the seat belt into the seat. This design actually uses the strength of the seatbelt to hold the seat together in the event of a crash. This design with the seatbelt integrated into the seat is easy to spot. But there's no way for you to know the strength of other seats because the auto manufacturers won't tell you their seat strength specifications. If you could speak to the president of the Ford Motor Company, what would you tell him?
I want him to see the faces of every child that has been destroyed.
And it's Indy 500 in the front and Indy in the back.
I would want him to know what it feels like.
Ready? Go!
When you think about her, what usually stands out?
Her eyes. She had pretty blue eyes. I'm happy when I'm looking at her. It's when I close the scrapbook that it hurts.
Ford, Chrysler, and GM responded to our story by saying all of their seats exceed the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard. That standard was written in the 1960s and hasn't changed since. But the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration tells us a change in that standard can be expected next year. So how do you keep your children safe? First, safety experts tell us the best place for them is in the middle position in the back seat, but only as long as you have a car seat or there's a shoulder belt in that middle position. If the middle position does not have a shoulder belt, try to place your kids behind an empty front seat. And if both front seats are occupied, place your child behind the lightest person in the front part of the car, the front seats.
Amazing report. Hard to know how many people have actually been impacted so far.
NHTSA can only tell us that more than 600 people have been killed who are rear seat passengers in rear-end collisions in the last 5 years, but no one is keeping track to tell us how many of those fatalities happened because of the seats.
Randy Page, thank you for that excellent report. Coming up tomorrow night at 11.